All right. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. James Donaldson, Standing Above the Crowd podcast, coming to you live from Rainier Avenue Radio every Thursday afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So check in with us every week. We got great guests, great lineups every week, great programming on a great platform too as well. So I want to really say thank you for that. And we're here today. I don't see my announcements popped up. What happened to those? Daniel, you got my announcements for me today? Something about, yes, let's help our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio. You can donate and contribute to our cause at with Venmo at Rainier Avenue Radio or Rainier Avenue Radio world.world/donate. Let me say that again. Rainier Avenue Radio. Well, hang on. Rainier Avenue. Okay. Rainier Avenue Radio .world/donate. Sorry, butchered that pretty badly. But anyway, hey, that's our announcement for today. Please contribute to our community radio stations. This is very important for us to keep getting the word out the way we do. And today, we are in the midst of our holiday season right now. Christmas is just a week away. New Year's a couple of weeks away. And the New Year's off and running, and people are under stress and under duress and running all over the place, trying to take care of all kinds of things. So I thought it'd be a good idea to bring a mental health professional on board today and to have him talk to us about how to really make sure your mental health stays in check during these very challenging times sometimes, especially when family and friends come together, and even more especially when you start talking about topics that you may not agree about, politics especially, but anything, it could be anything, family dynamics, you know how that is. So let me bring on my guest today. His name is Brian Jaegar, and Brian is a mental health professional right here in Seattle. He's got his own practice, doing a lot of great things, seeing a lot of patients and helping them really strengthen and stay on top of their mental health issues that they may be having. He's here with a lot of great advice for us today. Daniel, go ahead and let Brian in so we can get started with this. All right, there's Brian right there. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Hey, good afternoon, James.
Sorry for the stumbling and bumbling around. These little fonts on, I'm like, whoa, okay. I got it. All right. But hey, man, good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you as always. Yep.
We're both trying to do some good work in the world of mental health. And it's such a big, topic and issue going on with just about everybody and probably everybody at some point or another in their lives. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into this world, and some of the work that you're doing, and maybe the types of caseload that you take on.
Okay. Hey, James, thank you. Yeah. I've known James for a number of years, and I'm grateful that now our paths really cross at the intersection of supporting people who are struggling with mental health and across cultures, and the big questions of the systemic issues that we face. A little bit about my background. I have a master's in rehabilitation counseling from Western Washington University, where I also earned my teaching certificate and taught for a number of years. I'm a certified rehab counselor, that's a national certification, and a licensed mental health counselor. And I'll get my full licensing next month. So good. 65 years old, I'm studying my butt off to pass this thing. I'm not worried about it. James, back when I was 18, I lost a friend to what at the time presented as death by suicide. Later on, there'd be published articles about autoerotic asphyxia, and that makes more sense. But at the time I experienced suicide, this guy was my ride or die. Since early 5 years old, and 18, I was without him. Wow. Fast forward just 1 year, and former neighbor, my college roommate, the year before, was shot and killed.
Whoa.
And as a young man, I was drinking a lot and eating crap, and my body was freaking out. I didn't know what grief was. All I knew is that I had to mask this. I was running a lot, lots of exercise. And my girlfriend at the time was worried about me.
Wow. Okay.
She introduced me to her mom, who introduced me to two people, a Baptist minister who, when I visited, handed me a handout to fill out. I said, no, thank you. I was in a world of hurt. I didn't know what I needed from him. And what she called a Christian psychologist. Okay, I went to see him, and he changed my life. About halfway through 5 or 6 sessions, I just stopped. I said, Dr. Street, what makes you a Christian psychologist? He goes, what do you mean? I'm not a Christian psychologist. I meet people where they are and who they are. And when they come into my office, no matter the background, they matter. Wow. That really made a big impact. I shifted my studies to psychology and earned my undergraduate degree at the University of Arizona in psychology.
Okay.
And then I had a various career in teaching and entrepreneurship. And in 2012, I started a consultancy working around the state of Washington, helping people with disabilities become self-employed and start their own business. Very unique. And it just, again, that pivot really changed my life. 8 years later, the pandemic hit, and I joined an agency called the Division of Vocational Rehab, DVR, as a counselor, and went back to school. So during the pandemic, I was studying for my master's.
Okay.
And got that in 2022. And since 2022, I kind of loosely for a while had my practice, but I was doing consulting around the country with these vocational rehab agencies with a very outstanding person, a former Obama administration official, Janet Lebrecht. Really honored to do that. I did some more teaching, and what happened was this year, all of that goes away.
Wow.
And all that funding, it's really hurting the disability community. But I took that opportunity to ramp up my practice to what I've always wanted to be, which is full-time.
Good.
And now this is my sole focus, as you know. I work with a wide range of people across their lifespan, but I'll tell you, it's trending towards men in their 20s to 50s, 60s, with some women. Most everyone reports living with ADHD, unfulfilled careers, anxiety, depression, and just the existential questions of, how do I matter? Do I matter to anybody?
Yeah.
And I know that's part of your story at your darkest times, is just asking that question: how do I matter? And who do I matter to?
Yeah. No, that's fascinating. It's amazing. And is your patient load mostly men then?
It's trending mostly men. That's a surprise to me. Yeah.
Okay. There's been a term running around the last year or so, toxic masculinity. What is that, and what is that about?
Whew. Listen, is your podcast 4 hours long?
No, no.
Listen, I kind of regret even making a joke about that, because
in a nutshell, it's okay.
Okay, in a nutshell, is what we're seeing in Washington, D.C. It's power, it's abuse of power over women, over other men. It's abuse of power over our neighbors who don't look like us. And it's a very weak personality that expresses their toxic masculinity. I want to make that really clear. These are not strong personalities. They're very weak. They're fragile behind that toxicity. If you think of some of the coaches who haven't fared so well in the profession, and they're just really aggressive, verbally abusive. These are men with stories of deep pain, of themselves being abused and such. That doesn't excuse it by any means. So in a nutshell, I know some of my colleagues who may be listening to this say I didn't go far enough, but
But it gives a general overview of what that's about because, we hear the term, but we don't really hear it defined very often. And so now that
Mm,
really helps a little bit with that.
mm,
So Brian, we're coming into the holiday season, and this is typically a very stressful time for people, whether they
mm.
have mental health issues and crises going on or not. They feel like they do. What
Yeah.
can people do to kind of help ease their way through this very stressful time of the year?
Yeah. What a great question.
Yeah.
I think being good with each other.
Hmm.
We'll talk about being good with yourself, but when we arrive, um, I know there's so much history with our family and friends, and when we arrive, um, we may not be prepared, or we are overly prepared for protecting ourselves
Hmm.
from sarcasm, from our story of abuse with someone from many decades ago. So, what do we do? How do we protect ourselves? Um, I think it comes down to limiting our the ways we celebrate, with alcohol or substances. Stay more conscious.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a meditation practice, don't let that go during the holidays. Reach out to friends
Mm-hmm.
and realize what a lot of the difficulty we bring is not present. It's
Mm.
not about what happens today. It's what's
Yeah.
happened in our past.
Yeah.
And so
Or
how do we do that? How do we welcome that
yeah.
that experience? And I have a suggestion generally for a walking meditation, if I can cut right to a solution.
Go ahead, please, please.
Um, and this is it comes off of different meditation traditions. But one way to kind of identify a time and a feeling you have in your body
Hmm.
where being around for the holidays is going to create tension
Mm.
is to be in an environment where you can walk slowly. And I recommend walking up steps. I live in the heart of Seattle. We have steps everywhere. I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
only
yeah.
walk a few blocks before it goes up and down. And what you do is you're at the base of the steps, and you can do this walking forward or kind of in a circle, if you will. And you take a step and you breathe in and you welcome yourself at age 1. So that
Huh.
would be, I'm going to breathe in and welcome Brian at age 1. And if what I'm seeking is safety or did
Mm.
I matter or care, I'm going to exhale and just say, man, you're safe.
Mm.
And I'm going to
Mm.
take another step and I'm going to welcome Brian age 2. And we only have pictures. I don't remember before age 5, but
Yeah.
some people may. And it's as you do this, you may start feeling things in yourself where it's
Mm.
really hard. Um, age 12 for me was a really hard time, and I just felt getting tight and emotional. I don't really know why.
Mm.
So I just stayed with that for a little bit. And you can do this through your whole lifespan, or you can do it to a point where you really feel something in your body,
Mm.
something that's really yeah, emerging, and stay with that and hold that. We can learn to be both grieving what happened to us and
Mm-hmm.
being present. And what that exercise does is it welcomes you. I can welcome my 12-year-old Brian into my life right now
Mm. Mm.
and tell him he's safe, he's loved,
Okay. Wow.
and kind of mentor that memory, if you will, mentor that boy. And what you do is pretty soon you kind of have this feeling that that boy is championing you.
Mm. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
a very interesting experience.
Mm.
So another, it's a method of self-care during these very emotional times,
Mm. Mm.
um, for things that have gone on. Primarily, they go on in our past, and they've been with us. These
Yeah.
family stories, right?
Right. 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 And so you're suggesting we do that while we are walking or neighborhood walk or what have you?
It's a fantastic. Um, I like to, if you have steps, take one step at a time,
Okay.
and you
Steps.
welcome yourself at age 2. Next step
Oh,
is age 3, and you're doing the breathing through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. And it's
mm,
this meditation of just integrating your life story and
mm,
then pausing when whether you realize, there's a traumatic event or traumatic events during a time period, or you don't even know that. We
mm.
carry, we have a brain, we have a body, but we have a mind that
Yeah.
connects. We're all connected,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So I jumped right to a solution, or to kind of integrate your own
Yeah.
experiences over the holidays. Um, yeah, and whatever kind of is keeping you tied into the national story and the world story right now. The traditions around Christmas are um, maybe kind of conflicting with that. So limit your social media,
Mm-hmm.
limit your news consumption. Give yourself, if you have some time off, give
Yeah.
yourself some time to um, be active in the things that bring you joy and happiness, and that can be art that you never tried. It could be writing and journaling, and
Mm-hmm.
something with that just allows you moments to flow and
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
the moment.
Yet holidays are a time for family gatherings typically, and friends and neighbors and all that.
Yeah.
So just like we came through Thanksgiving recently, now we're going to Christmas. What do you do with those folks that you don't ideologically line up with, that you might have a conflict if you get into almost any kind of conversation with them? Leave it alone or try to engage, or how would you handle
It depends. It
that?
depends.
Okay.
Um, I think that I can't, okay, I'm stretching. This is not my professional experience or advice, but it may be impossible to engage
Mm,
in politics. And I would suggest that you have a pre-conference with your parents or your child, and be honest about it. I said, we have different views,
mm,
and I don't want to get into this with you.
mm.
Um, a decade ago, we had a blow up at a family Christmas dinner, and it tore up the family.
Wow.
It was very difficult.
Oh no.
But I think that our ideology is something that if you think that's going to be an issue, address it beforehand.
Mm.
Go head on into it, lean into it, make a phone call, don't text or email, be very direct. And I know we've
Oh,
talked about this, you and I like to pick up a phone. Not
yes.
everybody does that, but
That's
we can clarify ourselves much better if it's immediate.
good.
Actually, if we're Zooming or if we're on the telephone, pick up and talk to your mom or dad that have a different view and say, listen, I know that we different. I want to be there. Let's
Mm,
celebrate. But
mm.
I need to agree. I need your agreement that we're not going to get
Yes.
into politics. You're
Good.
not going to
Good. Good.
mention your guy. I'm not going to mention, my candidate. We're not going to
Yeah.
bring up the issues. And then introduce and do it kindly and from a point of curiosity. Say,
Mm.
what could we talk about? What have we missed over this year
Yeah.
of not seeing each other? And so a
Yeah.
little bit of pre-planning. Unfortunately, some people are just writing off their parents
Yeah. I know.
because they have different views, and there's not a chance to be together
Mm.
based on histories. And certainly some of that is, that's a form of self-care for a
Yeah.
child, adult child.
Mm.
But if there's an opportunity to set some boundaries, some guardrails, and then go enjoy that and be
Yeah.
prepared to take care of yourself and get up and leave, do what you have to do. If it
Mm.
turns into something that
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
agreed, the opposite of what you agreed on.
Yeah. And perhaps keep the game on instead of Fox or CNN News. Just watch the game.
Yes, Yeah,
Yeah.
ask them to put the hats away and
Yes, the
and
T-shirts and all that.
and
Yeah,
that
you're right.
whatever you're protesting, whatever valid things you have, don't wear those.
Yeah, yeah. That's very good. Very good advice. Hey, you're talking a little bit in the intro about loss and grief that you went through, and all of us
Mm,
have gone through from time to time. We are dealing with this atmospheric river up here in the Northwest the last week or two.
mm,
Flooding is all over the place. People have lost their homes, they've lost their vehicles, family possessions, life savings and belongings. It's going to be a tough go for so many
mm.
people, and that's loss of material sort, but
Yeah.
still a lot of emotional and sentimental value in those
Mm.
things as well. How can somebody deal with that? What's the best way to go forward?
That level of loss and grief is, especially right when it happens,
Yeah.
we need to be able to hold our relatives, our friends, our neighbors, and not try to fix them.
Mm,
So when you say that and someone's reaching out, hey, I'm really hurting, I just lost everything, we need to remember not to get into fix it mode.
mm,
We need
mm.
to just tell them how hard this must be and just sit with it and let them voice their deep loss
Yeah.
of family possessions. Hopefully, we haven't had, I think we've had one person die in a
So
car.
far.
So there hasn't been loss of life, but that doesn't matter in this conversation. It's really being there with our neighbors
Yeah.
throughout their conversation and not being a fix-it person. Hey, I'm a fix-it person. You
Mm,
know,
mm,
my
mm.
house is something I've worked on for 30 years. And with my wife companion, JK says, hey, this is broken, I go fix it. And
Yeah.
so my inclination is to want to fix something,
Yes, me too.
but we need to just be present
Yeah.
and hear their story and be
Mm,
curious about their life.
mm.
Now, if you've gone through that, there are a lot of resources that are out there now. But also, I think it's valuable if you learn that when you reach out to your family, your friends, to say, "I'm going through this horrific event. I just need you to hear me.
Good.
Please,
Oh,
please
yeah.
don't give me any suggestions. I'm
Mm,
overwhelmed.
mm.
I have certain things in place. My family's at a friend's house. My work is giving me grace, but don't think. I just need to be present. I need
Mm.
someone to listen to me, and you've talked about that,
Yeah.
with mental health. Sometimes you just need someone to call.
Yeah.
You need,
Yeah.
someone on your speed dial, and
That's right.
so try to take those risks and try to be clear that you don't need anything other than your time
Mm.
and your care and your compassion.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. The U.S. Surgeon General mentioned several years ago that loneliness is our number one mental health crisis right now.
Mm,
Holidays. I'm going to be on my own for the holidays. A lot of people
mm,
will, millions and millions of people will. It's a tough time, and we have to kind of just make it through our own. I mean, I'll step out and visit a neighborhood or something, but I come back to the house all by myself.
mm.
So, any tips in the last couple minutes of okay, how to make it through this when you're on your own, when you're lonely, you feel isolated, and everybody else is out, seasonal cheer and having a great time, seemingly, and you're
Mm.
sitting there by yourself.
Yeah, you pinpoint something that's really devastating, and isolation is becoming, even though we're so connected in
Yes.
so many ways, there's an expectation around the holidays that we would be gathering with people, and the um, um, the fracture in families has made it really very difficult. I have my sister's going to be alone this
Mm,
Christmas for first
mm,
time, and she and my mom were really tight companions the last 5 years as they lived together. So isolation is a really hard thing to experience at any time, and over the holidays, it just magnifies.
yes.
So again, if you have a drink at night, if you enjoy, any kind of substance, try to stay away from it the best you
Mm,
can.
mm,
Stay with exercising. Do something good for yourself.
Okay.
How would you celebrate something for yourself? Would you get some new music? Yeah, buy yourself, a meal or make a meal. Do something active so that we are not just sitting still, going through the channels. And it's an opportunity to be good to yourself, to care for yourself,
Yeah.
because if people are around, this external world will take all the care you will give.
Yes.
And so it's difficult when we're alone, but if you can have the mindset, you're going to do that for yourself, whatever that might be, bring out a hobby, paint, write, do
Yep.
something where you would do that solo anyway. And then at the end of the day, kind of take count of what the day was like.
Great.
And try to identify something about that you can be grateful for. All the while, we're holding the gratefulness and feeling isolated.
Yeah. Wow, that's good. That's very good. Brian, we've got to wrap up here, but this was very, very helpful for all of our listeners out there, I'm sure. Man, just fantastic advice to make it through these holidays. I want to say thank you very much for being my guest today, and all the audience out there. I hope you all got a lot of good advice out of what we talked about today. This is James Donaldson from Standing Above the Crowd podcast, and Brian Jaegar, a mental health professional. Brian, any quick words on how to get a hold of you if they need to? Where are you at?
Sure. Yeah. Brian J. Jaegar, JAEGER.com is my website. I have an office in Madrona. My number is 206-619-4345.
All right. Fantastic. If you need help, reach out to him. He's a good one. All right.
Thank you, James.
That's it for today. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everyone. Fantastic show. I'll see you in the new year. Have a good one. Bye-bye now.